Franz, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We're just going to, again, if you raise your hand, we're just going to open it right up to questions. KJ, go ahead. You can start us off.
Tom, at the beginning of the season, you really emphasized the importance of getting to the finish line. Now that it appears that you're going to have that opportunity, is there a sense of relief, or does that not come until you make it until next Saturday?
I don't think there's ever relief especially when you're. Here's the thing: you're going for all the marbles, and we're a week out. We just one day at a time. Get ready to go. Be the best you can be. Keep getting better. Good attitude, fight attitude, those types of things. Is there relief? No. Not really, because we're 7 days out to tournament time, 6 days out, and we leave Tuesday, and we got probably 7 tests with COVID between now and then, and then we got 4 more in St. Louis, and so on and so forth. One day at a time.
Scott Dockerman?
Yeah, Tom, are there any differences at all between competing at the elite level for college championships and what comes next for Spencer and other wrestlers, the Olympic trials, and if there are, other than, of course, style, and what are they in your eyes?
One day at a time again. Let's take this one tournament at a time, one event at a time, which is our philosophy. There's a lot of important events. There's a lot of important events that are circled and highlighted and, underlined in red on that calendar. And these guys take them one at a time. They've done a good job at keeping that perspective. They've been good leaders for our young guys that, they get all hyped up and they're looking way ahead. Hey, let's take care of here and now first. And that's a good perspective to have for anything you do. So without getting ahead of ourselves, let's just stick to 18, 19, 20 March, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of next week in St. Louis.
Justin Batch?
You're muted.
Whoops, sorry about that. There was a video going around Twitter this week when you were kind of mic'd up during Spencer and Dylan's match. And I don't know if you were telling the Michigan coaches they didn't like tough wrestling. I just wanted to know if you could expound on that.
You'd have to ask my brother on that. I wasn't in the corner.
Got it.
Chris Warner, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I'm not sure if you're aware, but it was a year ago today that everything kind of shut down in the sports world. What do you remember about that a year removed, and what do you remember about what it kind of took this year to get back to kind of where you were ready to go last year?
Well, first of all, you have to credit a lot of people. You have to credit the NCAA. You have to credit the Big Ten, the individual conferences that made this season happen. And they did it under criticism. They did it, there's a lot of people in the world that don't look at sports as vital. And sports is vital. It teaches a lot. And young people, they need that, and especially young athletes. We're not all going to be athletes, but we're not all going to be other things either. And so these athletes, they needed an outlet, and you know what? Good leadership got it done. And I tell you what, that's what I'm excited about. You talk about the past and all that, and the path to get to here. I give a lot of credit to the higher-ups. Good job, people. Good job. You made it happen. Let's keep making it happen. And let's keep everybody safe as well. I'm not downplaying the safety factor. COVID's no picnic. That's a good quote from a mentor of mine. So we definitely know the dangers, the risks, the concern, the pandemic, the global concern. But you know what? Young people need to do what young people do, and young athletes need to do what young athletes need to do, and our leadership has risen to the occasion time and time again. Good job.
Darren Miller?
Coach, what were some things you saw at the Big Ten championships that were really encouraging for you as a coach moving forward into the NCAA championships?
Well, I'll tell you what, here's the thing. That's what we talked to our team about. There's things that we did really, really well, and we give you credit for that. And I don't think I need to go into details, but to kind of skew your question a little bit toward our team, you're going to run into some things that are going to be adversity, that are going to be tough, and you're going to have to keep rising to the occasion and doing the positive or doing the, making it go your way. And it didn't go our way every time, but our guys did a lot of good things on that wrestling mat, and we need to correct the things where we can get sharper, and we need to elevate the things that we did well, even into the next level, into the way up in the higher levels, and just keep getting better.
Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, you obviously were an elite athlete. You've been around elite athletes your whole life. Where does Spencer kind of fit into that equation? Even on the cusp here of next week's championships.
He's, first of all, probably, he's been called, once in a decade recruit. And now you have this, whatever you want to call him, but he's not done yet. And so you can talk about all the things that he is, but he's not done yet. And he rises to the occasion time after time after time, and he's a tough guy. But more than that, he's a unique-minded athlete. And it's a joy to have him in our room, in our program. It's a joy to see his maturity into leadership roles on a lot of different fronts. And he's become more of his own man. I think we all do as we get older. But he's still got work to do, and he knows that. He articulates that very well. And that's where we got to keep the perspective. Keep doing it. Keep getting better. Keep coming to work or whatever you want to call it every day with a good attitude, so on and so on and so on. And he's doing it.
Cody?
Hey, Coach. Where have you seen Spencer grow the most over the last couple of years?
There's a lot of things. I pause and I think, and he's become more of his own man. Probably the biggest, thing where he's very sure, and he's always been a great advocate for our program and how we talked and the energy and the positive and he's a good sportsman. He won sportsmanship awards. So he's well liked, in the hallway in the back. We were, interacting with some people in the media room after the Big Tens, and, he definitely has the respect of his peers, and he definitely respects his peers. So, that's awesome. But the biggest thing is he's become his own man, and he's very perspective oriented, where he knows that the things in life, the fruits of the labor are there, but he's not in a hurry to go get them. And that's very, very unique. And that's what I mean by being unique-minded. He knows that the work comes before the fruits of the labor are realized. And wow, what an advocate, what a leader, what a partner as a coach, as a coaching staff. And Terry can attest to this probably more than I can. Just because of the one-on-one there is a little stronger and a little bit more personal maybe. So without speaking for Terry, I think he would probably say the same thing, that we have a guy there that his perspective is to get better every day, and he's got the right balance. But he is a ferocious competitor. Do not mistake that. Do not forget that.
Mike Willis.
Hey, Coach. Iowa's got 4 number 1 seeds. What does it take to develop a team where almost half the wrestlers are favorites to bring home a national title?
I mean, you just do your job during the year, and that takes care of itself. And even if you do your job during the year, I mean, the way the formula is, I mean, there was some skewed. I mean, you can't debate that there's some skewed things. And I'm not talking about against Iowa. I'm talking about you look at some things where the formula came into play, and it doesn't make sense. And so the bottom line is you do your job during the year. The formula is going to put you in the bracket. There's very little opinion, I guess maybe 10% or whatever, 20%, I don't know exactly. So opinion's out of it. So do your job during the year. If you make a mistake, you got to come back for it. And we want to be our strongest at the end of the year. And wherever you're at in the bracket, whether it's the number 1 seed or anywhere else that you're placed, go do your job. And do it at a high level and be ready, ready, ready to go. Triple ready.
Cody?
I asked Spencer a variation of this question, but to have the team in this position and really just the success that you guys have been able to accumulate over the last couple of seasons, this is what you pitch them when on the recruiting trail. This is what you sell them on every day in the room. How nice or rewarding is it to know that that vision has, it has mostly come true, right? There's obviously still work to do next week in St. Louis, but you guys are in that position that you kind of sold them on. That how rewarding is that knowing you guys are this close?
Rewarding's a funny word to me. I mean, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is we got a lot of good guys that their lifestyle is intact. They understand what lifestyle means. Lifestyle isn't part of the year thing. It's an all the year thing. They understand that, and they go to work that way every day. They're tight. They hold each other accountable. They're good to our young people. So we just got a lot of partners in this thing, and you got to give credit to a lot of people. You give credit to your coaching staff. Telford, Morningstar, Terry Brands, Mariah Stickley is our director of ops, or Mariah Marinelli. Jesse Donworth, our medical team. I mean, I talked about the leadership, and that's a big part of it. And then you talk about our people that are on our roster and our Hawkeye Wrestling Club. So, reward or how rewarding, we just keep every day. That's the message we want to, keep the perspective. Just keep getting better every day. Go out and do what you do best, one match at a time. And you keep that perspective, and, we're going to be fine. Awesome. We done? Hey, thanks, everybody.
Cody's got one more, and then we'll wrap it up on this one. Cody,
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you.
Regarding Spencer again, this is a guy that has found a lot of success not only at Iowa but before he got here, right? That appetite for success to keep getting better, and that to maintain that hunger to keep getting better and keep striving for more. How does he sustain that personally? Like where does that come from out of him? He's born into a family of an elite judo mom, an elite judo coach. There's similarities there. For sure, that's a part of it. That family is top notch. Where does it come from? It comes from, day after day after day, and then all of a sudden there's a habit there that's bedrock. That's what you go to when there's adversity or whatever. But it started when you're starting to walk. And so where does it come from? It comes from a guy who's disciplined. He has a good attitude. He deals with all the struggles that everybody else in this world deals with, but he handles them, the right way. Water off a duck's back. And so, where does it come from? It comes from perspective and attitude and fight. And go do your job, one match at a time, one move at a time. So I got to get up to the wrestling room. I appreciate it. We'll see you in a week or so. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom. So just raise your hand, and then I will call on you. All right. First question will go to Mr. Willis from USA Wrestling.
Hey, Spencer. With the Olympic team trials less than a month away, how do you manage peaking for both the NCAAs and the trials?
Well, I mean, we're just getting ready for what's next right now, first of all, and that's NCAAs, and then we're going to have a little bit of a break, like, I don't know, 10 days or something before the big trials, and we'll be ready to go. We'll be in shape, we're ready. I think it's an advantage for me, and I'll be ready to go for, the next big thing, which will be the Olympic trials after that, so.
Thank you.
Darren, go ahead.
Yeah, Spencer, what is it about the NCAA championships that really seems to bring out the best in you? I mean, complete dominance the last 2 years.
Well, I say big-time wrestler show for big-time matches, so the bigger the stage, the better I wrestle, and I've always been like that, and I believe I've been like that since I was a little kid, so.
Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, Spencer, kind of taking you all the way back here. What was it about Iowa that really captivated you as a youth in Pennsylvania and made it so that was the place you wanted to go and make your mark?
Well, I mean, when I was young, my coach came to Iowa, Jay Stripmatter, he was here, so I always had a little bit of always like a push, but like they always want us to wrestle like Tom and Terry Brands or Ironside or McAravey. Always watching videos of those guys, and when I got older, eventually I started getting recruited by them, and I fell in love with their coaching staff and their program and everything about the University of Iowa. And it was just, at the end of the day, it was a pretty easy decision when you really think about it. So.
How do the brand style of wrestling? How has that made you better?
Well, I don't think I wrestle anything like either of them, but I think that their mindset and their mentality is what changes everything about the people that come to this program. And I mean, you can really find two more passionate guys in the whole world and two guys that want to see everyone on the team succeed. And then it just rubs off on you. It makes you want to run through a wall for them. So.
Chris Werner, go ahead.
Hi, Spencer. I don't know if you know, but it was, I think, a year ago today that everything kind of got canceled in the sports world. What do you kind of remember about that time, and how do you feel about getting back to where you kind of were headed last year, getting ready for kind of revenge this year?
Well, I'm just glad that the NCAA is doing everything they can to allow us to have an NCAA championship. Last year was very hard on every sport that didn't get to compete, so not just us in general, but we're ready to go and we're excited and we're looking forward to finally getting it done, getting ready to win a national title as a team and individuals. So.
Mike Willis, go ahead.
Spencer, you scored bonus points in every match you've wrestled this year. While I'm sure that means that you're kind of executing the way you want to, is there any frustration with the fact that you can't get a full match in, basically?
I just go out to score points, and that's all I care about. Is just what's next. What's the next point? If I don't wrestle a full match all year, that'd be great, But if I do, it doesn't matter. I'm ready to go no matter what. 7 minutes and more if needed. That's the mentality they instill upon me, and it's just scoring points every second of every single, part of the match, and getting ready for what's next. So, I mean, I know it's a lot of I repeat a lot of things, but that's just how they are here, and that's just how I am as well. So.
Cody Goodwin, go ahead.
Hey, Spencer. Where do you feel like you've grown the most since you've gotten to Iowa, and I mean, really over the last maybe couple of seasons? Because it seems like you've taken it to a totally different level than even your freshman and sophomore season.
I just think I'm more mature, more ready to go, used to this kind of grind more or less, I guess. Because I feel like as a freshman, I was kind of all over the place. I mean, I'm not saying I wrestled bad, but I would have matches where I would, kind of dominate someone, and I'd wrestle them again, and it'd be kind of close. And I just think consistency and being able to understand that these guys, they want to win too, obviously. But, you still got to put them down and do what you got to do to dominate. And, I mean, every year you got to get better, so.
Scott?
next year at all? I mean, you do get an extra year like any other athlete this right now. Will you return, or are you planning to just simply move ahead and go through the professional ranks or the Olympic ranks going forward?
Well, what do you think I'm gonna do?
It doesn't matter what I think. I think you're going to come back, right?
Yeah, well, then you're very correct. I plan on coming back and competing for the University of Iowa next year and staying another year with my brothers. I think I owe it to them, and I want to be a 4-time national champ. But right now, I got to be 3, so we're worried about that right now. But so, no questions about 4-timers. I won't answer it. 3-time right now, and then come back, compete with my team, win another national title as a team as well, because we're going to win it this year. So.
Justin, go ahead.
Spencer, Justin Bash. So, talking to Gable yesterday, there's a lot of discussion on YouTube being the Hodge Trophy top candidates. He's got a deeper field of competition, but you're pinning absolutely everybody. How much are you thinking about the Hodge going into next weekend?
I could honestly care less about the Hodge. I don't even care if I win it. I just want to wrestle my best, score points in every position in every second of the match, and dominate. And if I win it, I win it. If I don't, I don't. It doesn't really matter to me because it's not something that I don't really want to put more pressure on myself or do anything like that. Like I have to pin and tech everybody. I don't care about that. I just want to win, wrestle my hardest. And, if Gable Stevenson wins it, then he probably deserved it because he's pretty dang good.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, please raise your hand if there are any further questions for Spencer this morning. Cody, go ahead.
Spencer, everything that's happening this year and everything that the NCAA is trying to do to ensure that you guys get the opportunity to compete next week, and then a couple weeks after that, the Olympic trials. This was everything that was supposed to happen last year, right? How much has just kind of this process to get to this point after everything went down last year? How much has kind of your patience and your competitiveness maybe in tandem kind of been tested just after the way everything went down and kind of the off season you guys had?
I just think you attribute that to our coaching staff and everything. Our entirety of staff at the University of Iowa as a whole. I think they did a great job making sure we're safe and following protocols and doing everything we can to be the best. Even when we had a pause this year, that was for the best. That was for our safety and whatnot. We're just excited that they're allowing us the opportunity. Last year was tough on everyone. You miss something that can't really be taken back. I feel bad for all the seniors. I always say that. Those guys, they deserved a ring. We were going to win a national title in my mind. And can't really give it back to those guys. So I feel like I'm not just winning for myself, but I'm also winning for them. And I'm going to do my best to bring it back for them as well, and for myself and for the University of Iowa as a whole. So.
Scott?
Yeah, will you have eyes on any other wrestlers outside of your weight class coming up next week, just because of what's coming up in early April?
Could you explain what you're asking me? I'm sorry.
Are you watching Fix at all?
I'm going to be focused on myself. And that's it. And if I happen to have to wrestle him at the trials, I'll be ready for him when his name is in front of mine. And that's all that matters. I don't really watch people wrestle. I don't really watch any opponents. I don't scout anybody because I really don't care what they do. The coaches might tell me something that they might be good at or whatnot, but I just worry about what I do and my mentality and how I wrestle. So that's all that matters to me.
Cody?
You mentioned the seniors. How often do you guys still talk to Lugo? I know with all the protocols and whatnot, he's probably not in the room with you guys since he's doing the Hawkeye Wrestling Club thing. But how often do you guys still communicate with him, and how much is he just kind of still supporting what the team's chasing this year?
He's supporting us the best way he can. He's doing his own thing, getting ready for the Olympic trials. He's getting ready. I'm excited to see him some more. We're all used to being pretty close to each other. Last year he was one of those guys that, like I said, really got kind of gypped. I would have loved to see him get another year back, but I know that would have been hard for the NCAA to do. he's ready to go, and I mean, I'm excited to see him compete. I'll be with him at the big trials, so that'll be a lot of fun. So.
Scott?
Yeah, how has your mother's experience at competing at a really high level influenced you in how you compete at a level, and what kind of advice has she given you through the years?
My mom tells me, stay safe, be smart, and then kick butt pretty much before every match, every big tournament. Or stay safe, stay humble, kick butt, and that's just kind of a thing that we do. She'll always say that she can't hold my jock strap or something like that. My mom was a beast. My mom was awesome. She's too humble. She's a lot better than she since she thinks she was. My dad always tells me that. She was our 99-pounder, like Olympic team, basically, our rep, but that wasn't a weight class, so she had to go up to 106. My mom was 4 feet 11, by the way. She's really little. And the girl that ended up beating her to make the Olympic team didn't make weight at the Olympics, but was winning Olympic ranking tournaments at 122 overseas, and at 106. My mom lost her on like judge's decision. So my mom was right there with a girl that didn't make weight and didn't even allow us to have a rep at the Olympics. But that's okay. She's I don't know. She's proud of me and wants to see me do my best. I mean, I think I'm a lot like her. She was very talented and very athletic. So.
Perfect. We got time for maybe one more before we bring in Coach Franz. Cody, go ahead.
Just kind of piggybacking a little bit off of the last question I asked you, the dominance of the team and the focus of the staff and all the wrestlers that are going to St. Louis. I mean, this was probably the idea, and even last year, this was probably the idea that Tom and Terry were pitching you on when they were trying to get you to come to Iowa in the first place. How nice has it been to kind of see all of this really come to fruition, and you guys are in position to do what they kind of promised you and what they kind of sold you on this vision of bringing Iowa wrestling back to the top?
I mean, that was what it's been since I've got here. Just every year is get better, compete harder, train smarter, whatever. And I promised President Bruce Harold that I would bring him a national title before I graduated. So he hasn't retired yet, so plan on doing just that. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, we believe in the coaching staff. We believe in everyone, our entirety of the staff at the University of Iowa. And we're going to do our best to represent them to the best of our ability and hopefully kick some butt this weekend. So next weekend. But
Spencer, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Best of luck in St. Louis, and we'll let you go and bring Tom Brands on in.
Thank you.